Hello friends, I hope all are doing extremely well. लास्ट क्लास में वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट ऑडिट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन जो टॉपिक हमारा ऑलरेडी चल रहा है. वी आर वर्किंग ऑन इट एंड वी हैवंट फिनिश्ड इट येट बट स्टिल we'll be reviewing it in our classes today as per the demand, or you can say एक बच्चे की रिक्वायरमेंट थी. एक बच्चे को बेसिकली SRE से रिलेटेड कंफ्यूजन था. SRE 2400, SRE 2410, देन SRS 4400, SRS 4410, जिससे रिलेटेड आज मैं कुछ क्लासेस आज से स्टार्ट कर रही हूँ रिकॉर्ड करना, बिकॉज कुछ बच्चों की डिमांड भी है और बहुत टाइम से मेरे पास रिक्वेस्ट्स आ रही थी SRE और SRS के लिए. तो आज से उनकी क्लासेस स्टार्ट हो जाएंगी. साइमल्टेनियसली ऑडिट डॉक्यूमेंटेशन भी चलेगा. एंड यस, मैं अपनी नेक्स्ट क्लास में ये भी कोशिश करूँगी कि आप लोगों को मॉक टेस्ट पेपर भी डिस्कस करूँ ऑनलाइन, यानी कि मॉक टेस्ट पेपर के ऊपर भी क्लास एक होगी. Now today we are going to start SRE 2400. What does SRE mean? See, what happens is there are so many standards. These standards are in bulk. इनके बारे में सबसे पहले समझने से पहले आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि SRE SRS होता क्या है. ठीक है, तो जितने भी स्टैंडर्ड्स होते हैं, SREs होते हैं, SRS होते हैं, उनका बेसिकली रेलेवेंस क्या होता है. तो देखिए, द इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स ऑफ इंडिया has issued a revised preface regarding what? Preface to standards on quality control for auditing, review and other assurance and related services, which came into effect from 1st April 2008. Now what happens is there are categories of standards. One is standards on quality control, which is applicable to those firms who performs audits and review of historical financial information and provides other assurance related services. Standards on auditing, which we study in our upcoming lectures. You would have heard about SA 500, SA 200. All these standards, they come under standards on auditing. Whatever the standard you take, of 200 series, 300 series, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800 series. So they all come under standards on auditing. Standards on review engagements, they are to be applied in the review of historical financial information. Whatever financial information the management is presenting, what should be done in order to review them, how it should be reviewed. I mean to say that there should be a base, there should be a reference sort of thing on the basis of which the auditor it becomes easy for the auditor to review the financial information, taking that base. So that standard, SRE, standard on review engagement, acts as a base for the auditor. Not only this, all the other standards, they act as a base, they act as a backbone. They provide a backbone, they provide a strength, they act as a strengthening pillar to the audit procedures, whatever the auditor carries out. The other is standards on related services, which is applied to engagements involving application of agreed upon procedures to information, compilation engagements and other related service engagements. So all these standards are there in order to strengthen, in order to make the audit more free from misstatements and giving a base, acting as a base, acting as a guardian in order to carry out the audit smoothly, effective and efficient manner. So this is what is the aim of the standards. Now we have to start SRE 2400. See, what is SRE? This I have explained you in brief. Now what does this standard say? This we will be studying in today's class. So if I talk about SRE 2400, see what happens is, first of all we need to study the objective of this engagement. What does this engagement, what does this review engagement wants from us? What does it demand? The main purpose of reviewing financial statement is to allow the practitioner to report whether, based on procedures which don't provide that all evidence which is required in the audit, anything has caught his or her attention which causes him or her to believe that financial statements aren't prepared. Now what does this mean? See, this text may not be written in whatever PDF I've shared with you. That PDF is, I've taken it from the institute site, and I'll be referring it in order to teach you in any, if I teach any subject, I'll be referring that material, study material. Now, main objective, main goal of analyzing a financial statement is to allow auditor to report. ठीक है, क्या रिपोर्ट करना कि जो भी प्रोसीजर्स ही इज फॉलोइंग, वट एवर प्रोसीजर्स हिज टीम इज फॉलोइंग, ठीक है, भले ही वो एविडेंसेस नहीं निकाल पा रहा है उन प्रोसीजर्स से, और कुछ उसके अटेंशन में आया, कुछ उसने कोई ऐसी मिसस्टेटमेंट, कोई मेजर सिग्निफिकेंट डिस्क्रिपेंसी देखी जिससे उसे लगा कि फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स प्रॉपर वे में प्रिपेयर नहीं हुए हैं, तो ये स्टैंडर्ड, ये रिव्यू एंगेजमेंट अलाउ करता है रिपोर्ट करने को, अलाउ करता है ऑडिटर को रिपोर्ट करने को अपनी ऑडिट रिपोर्ट में. Now what are the general principles of this review engagement? This will be studying. See, first of all, whatever PDF I've shared with you, it has its contents. There is the scope, the engagement, authority, effective date, all these things are there, and the chapter is too long, but we'll be taking it in a shorter manner. I'll be discussing things in a brief manner because we have already ample number of things to discuss, and you just need to know the gist of what this review engagement means. What does it what does it say? What is it trying to imply? So you just need to go into the main content. ठीक है, what is the scope, what is the objective, ठीक है, what an auditor needs to do in order to follow this review engagement, how he needs to follow. So all these main points will be discussed. That's it. SRE is completed. You don't need to study each and everything. See, I am very much frank in it. You don't need to study each and every topic in it. You just need to focus on the main content related to SRE. ठीक. Now, if I talk about general principles, so see what happens is there are code of ethics, professional ethics, which have been already issued by the institute. ठीक है, and it's important, it's necessary that the auditor is following them, is following those code of conducts. What are the ethical principles? Ethical principles means which govern the professional responsibility of the auditor, which makes him realize that being a chartered accountant, you have to follow all these things in your daily routine while practicing your profession. So those ethical principles are integrity, confidentiality, independence, professional competency, objectivity, professional behavior, and technical standards. Now, by keeping all these principles in mind, the practitioner will conduct a review, and he'll also consider what the SRE is trying to say. This SRE 2400. Practitioner must plan and execute his or her review with professional skepticism. That is very much required. And if he has to express a negative assurance, if he is giving a negative opinion, he may, disclaim his report. I have already explained about qualified opinion. ठीक है, तो he may give a qualified opinion, but he must be carrying appropriate and adequate evidences while giving that negative assurance in order to support his negative assurance. The why he is forced to give a qualified report. There should be a strong evidence to support that. Are you getting my point? Now the next topic is about the scope. So see, what does scope mean? Scope means कि कितना बड़ा है ये रिव्यू एंगेजमेंट. इसका स्कोप मीन्स कि कितना enlarged है. That is what scope says. Scope implies review procedures which are necessary in the circumstances for achieving the objective. Procedures and methods required for conducting the review must be determined by practitioner. ठीक है, जो भी प्रोसीजर्स ज़रूरी हैं रिव्यू करने के लिए वो ऑडिटर को पता होने चाहिए कि एसआरई, और ये भी देखना है उसे कि एसआरई की रिक्वायरमेंट्स क्या है, रेगुलेशन क्या है, लॉ क्या कहता है, प्रोफेशनल बॉडीज़ क्या कहती हैं, एथिक्स क्या कहते हैं. तो इन सब चीज़ों को ध्यान में रखते हुए ही वो प्रोसीजर्स एंड मेथड्स आगे प्रोसीड करेगा और अपने ऑडिट में अप्लाई करेगा. ठीक. अब टर्म्स ऑफ एंगेजमेंट क्या होते हैं? जो भी क्लाइंट है एंड जो भी ऑडिटर है, they must be mutually consented. ठीक है, they must give their acceptance to each other. ठीक है, about what? About the audit which has to be conducted at the client's place. And these terms, they should be recorded, whether in written form, they should be in an agreement form or any other suitable form which is prescribed. ठीक है, which is prescribed. Now what should be the matters to be included in the engagement letter? What is the objective of engagement? What are the responsibilities of management? And what is the scope of review? And yes, the most important thing, that the auditor has unlimited access to whatever documents, whatever financial information, records and other information is present at the client's place he may require. He may ask for any information, any XYZ information at the client's place at the time when he is retained. ठीक है, and he cannot be denied from any such information. The fact that such engagement should not rely on disclosure of illegal acts, errors or such other misdeeds. Engagement should not be related to any error or illegal acts, any misdeed, any prohibited act. It should not include a statement that audit isn't performed and the audit opinion wouldn't be expressed or provided. For emphasizing and avoiding confusion, practitioner may also consider pointing out that such review engagement wouldn't satisfy statutory or requirements of any third party for an audit. He may at such point that review engagement will not satisfy any other requirements of pertaining to any other party, any third party, and he should not include any such statement in the engagement that the audit opinion would not be expressed or provided. So these are some kind of terms of the engagement which needs to be clearly expressed in the engagement letter. And in order to execute the engagement, the planning work must be done in a proper manner. Auditor needs to plan his engagement in such a way that at later stages of audit he does not face any problem. Neither he faces nor his engagement team member faces. And for that he has to obtain a prior knowledge of organization. What does the organization do? What is its size, its nature, turnover? All these things will be included. How is it practicing physical inspection, then talking with the management, those charged with governance, taking their viewpoints, asking their assertions, what accounting systems they follow, and how do they present the financial statements, whether it is correct or not, that will be seen in later stages. First of all, he'll be obtaining information from them. And once the practitioner uses the work done by another expert, he must be satisfied that the work is acceptable for such review, that the work is very much linked or related to such review if he is taking help of any other expert or any other auditor. For that he must be sure that whatever help he's taking in the form of documentation, or guiding him in extracting observations, whatever work another person is guiding him, that work is totally related to the review. It's required for the review. A practitioner must document the matters whatever are crucial in providing the evidence to assist his or her review report. Documentation is very much important, as what SA 230 says. Now see, what happens is we are talking about SRE, but in SRE also, whether if you take standards, if you take any chapter of audit, or if you are studying SRE, SRS or SQC, you will be seeing that in many topics they have referred to the standards also. Like if I talk about documentation, work performed by others, these both the topics in both of these essays are related. Like in documentation, SA 230 is there for documentation, and documentation we are already studying. Then the auditor must use judgment to determine particular nature, timing as well as extent of review procedures. He must be guided by the matters. He must employ same considerations with regarding materiality as in case of providing an audit opinion on financial statements. That means he should not be biased. He should be very much clear, fair and independent in providing his opinion on financial statements. He must question and investigate about events during the audit period which happened during the audit period, during the accounting period basically, following the date of financial statements, and which must be linked with adjustments or disclosures whatever are required in financial statements. See, sometimes what happens is management, they fail to understand because they are not very much equipped with knowledge what a CA has. So they may forget, or intentionally they may not disclose anything which the auditor may find out. So in that case, auditor needs to guide the management to disclose those matters which have been pending, which have not been shown yet, and do the necessary adjustments. In case a practitioner has his or her reason to believe that information subject to review might be materially mistaken, whatever information he is reviewing, if the auditor feels, as per his skepticism, as per his integrity, that this statement may have some kind of significant errors or some major problems, then he or she must perform more extensive procedures. Whatever procedures he can do, he must do in order to extract the best out of it, so that he is saved from providing a qualified opinion. I'm using this word saved because by providing a qualified opinion, by giving a qualified opinion, the auditor is gets a heavy heart. He becomes he gets loaded with lot of stress, because in that case, by providing a conditional opinion, he has to state those observations which support his opinion, and those observations should be convincing. They should be satisfactory. To whom? To the stakeholders, to the lenders, to the general public, whoever is reading, analyzing, examining the financial statements and the audit report. So that is a very tough task for the auditor, and in that case he will be saved from it if he is able to extract the best audit evidence and ensure that material misstatements are not there. They are reduced to an acceptably low level. Now after that, what happens is, review report must have an expression of negative assurance, written in clear and unambiguous form. If negative assurance is being expressed, then it should be in a clear manner. Okay? It should not be perplexing or confusing, I mean to say. The practitioner must assess and review his conclusions drawn from evidence obtained by him or her as their basis for expressing the negative assurance. Depending on the work performed, a practitioner must assess whether information that is obtained during his or her review point, whatever information is obtained that is not providing a true and fair view as per relevant FRF financial reporting framework. ठीक है, प्रैक्टिशनर को ये चीज़ चेक करनी है, जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन वो ऑब्टेन कर रहा है, अगर वो नेगेटिव अश्योरेंस दे रहा है, एक क्वालिफाइड ओपिनियन दे रहा है, तो ट्रू एंड फेयर व्यू भी होना ज़रूरी है उसके साथ साथ. मतलब ही शुड बी ऑनेस्ट इन हिज एफर्ट्स. कहीं भी फ्रॉडलेंट या मिसलीडिंग वर्ड्स नहीं होने चाहिए. ठीक है. Report on the review of financial statement defines the scope of engagement for enabling the reader of such financial statements in understanding the nature of work. जो भी रिपोर्ट है फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स में, वो पूरा स्कोप बताए, एंगेजमेंट का स्कोप क्या था, ताकि जो भी रीडर्स हों, रीडर्स मीन्स द पब्लिक, स्टेक होल्डर्स, bankers, lenders and the general public who has the access to financial statements, वो understand कर पाएँ clearly. So this should be in this way the reporting should be done. Now I hope I'm able to clarify myself, I'm able to explain it in a better manner. But still, if you face any queries, please ask me on the comment box, and please do read this chapter. If you face any query, then please write me on the comment box. I'll be taking a class on it, definitely. And yes, in the next class, I'll be discussing about SRE 2410. Till then, if you like the video, do not forget to share and subscribe my channel. Press the bell icon for latest updates. And keep studying, keep yourself updated. Don't stop studying, because after all, this will be helping you in later stages when you get your exams near. So in the next class we'll be talking about SRE 2410. Other than this, we'll be also discussing audit documentation.